The Qantas grounding and pending lockout of employees trigger a complex legal action with the airline, the unions and the government all involved. Well, to take us through it today, Lawyer Sam Macedone will explain these negotiations. Sam, thanks for coming in. Could the government have intervened earlier, or did it not have a right legally?
No, the government did have a right to intervene earlier and could intervene today if it wanted to. At the moment, the action that's being taken is that they've made application to Fair Work Australia under Section 424 of the Act and asked Fair Work Australia to have a hearing to make a determination whether it thinks things are serious enough for it to either terminate or suspend the industrial action until things are sorted out. But the government could have, under Section 431 of the Act, simply stepped in itself and said, enough is enough, all action is terminated, go off for 21 days, sort it out or else, and it would all be over. And what I find strange is that it's now asking Fair Work Australia to do just that.
So with no legal reason not to step in, it opens the possibility that it's for political reasons that it hasn't stepped in.
That might be so.
Did Alan Joyce have any other alternative than this extreme action?
The only alternative, or the only action that was open to Qantas, is to do what it did. I mean, it is the only response it has under the Act, and that's a lockout. And really all that does is force the issue.
Do employees have any rights going forward if nothing changes?
Not really. It's really in the hands now of the unions and Qantas and the mediators, the conciliators, to try and get things sorted out.
There's some talk, and we're going to address this later with Alan Joyce, that there could be sackings coming in the next step. Legally, can he go ahead and sack people?
Well, I dare say that yes, he could. I mean, if the thing continues and there's a lockout and the company's not operating, I mean, the people that are locked out won't get paid, but there are a lot of other staff that will be paid. But if the airline isn't operating, sooner or later, it's got to take measures. I mean, this is costing them, I understand, $20 million a day to be in lockout. So something really needs to be done, and it needs to be done urgently, or the whole thing will fall apart and we won't have a national carrier. So
just quickly, do you see happening today, Fair Work Australia saying back in the air, mediation, is that the way it's going to play out?
Well, it really can't say back in the air. All Fair Work Australia can do is make a determination to either suspend the industrial action or to terminate it. If it terminates it, then I have no doubt Qantas will put its planes back in the air. If it suspends the action, it just means it's hanging over your head, and I don't know whether Qantas would put its planes in the air, knowing full well that this whole thing could fall on them again. I think what they want is this action to be terminated. They want compulsory conciliation with someone that can sort out the problems. Obviously, the unions and Qantas cannot agree. We won't go into who's right, who's wrong. Everyone wants what they want and what they think is fair. Someone needs to arbitrate and get it done, and soon.
Sam, thanks very much for that
Thank you,
insight.